So in the last session, we discussed about the enterprise structure and the best practices when you design the chart of accounts. When you look at enterprise structure, already we created primary ledger, legal entity. Now we'll go and create the business unit. After completing the business unit creation, we'll see how to load primary ledger, legal entity, business unit information to the system automatically. After completing that automated process, we will see how to create the enterprise, how to create the division, how to create inventory organization. We'll complete and we'll start working on applications. So now we are ready with primary ledger and legal entity. We'll see how to create the business unit. Okay, we'll go and see how to create the business unit. So create business unit. When you create the business unit, we have to specify the location. We discussed business unit means specific location where we are operating the business, where we are doing the business. That location or branch outlet we can take as a business unit. So the physical address we have to create in the system where you are operating the business, that you have to create as a location for business unit. Create location for business unit. Then we'll create the business unit and we have to assign business unit business functions. So assign business unit business functions. Assign business unit business functions. So first we'll create location for business unit. Go to our implementation project. Search for the task called as manage locations. So manage locations, click on go to task icon. Click on go to task icon. Here we can create the location for business unit. Already we have seen how to create the location for legal entity. That is a legal address. The task is totally different. Now we are creating location for business unit. Click on create. Click on create icon. Just wait for a moment, it is taking time. Yeah. So we can give the location name for BU as say Amex Dallas. The location is Dallas I'm giving. And say Amex Dallas. I'm giving the location name and location code. And you scroll it down. Here we can provide the address line 1. I'm giving the name as Amex Dallas address and select zip code. This information will get from the manage geographies. Click on search and search for the geography. Any value you can select for practice purpose. You can use any geography code. Accordingly, system will fetch city, state, city, county, and state. Let's find any one of the geography code. Just wait for a moment. It's taking time. This location creation page. Yeah, you can pick any one of the geography. Done. Say save and close. We given the location as a $s. You can select appropriate values here. No issues for practice. You can proceed with any value. Say submit. After creating the location for a business unit, we can create the business unit. While we create the business unit, we are going to select the same location, but location selection is not mandatory, but select it as a mandatory. There are certain concepts. If you don't select location, those doesn't work across the applications. Yeah. Say yes. The request will be submitted. Do you want to continue? Say yes. And say okay.
And this is the same page for creating shipping address. Rest of the locations, right?
Yes. The same you can use. We have separate task also for inventory and all.
Okay.
We can create separate. We'll see when you create inventory, we'll talk about. This is the location for business unit. Now go to task called as manage business unit. Manage business unit. Click on manage business unit task. Click on go to task icon. Here we can create the business unit. Say create. And we can name it as say MX US business unit. Say for example, we have business in US, only one business you are doing in the business. You can give the name like this. Or else in US, you are doing 3 different businesses. You have only one branch for each business. In that case, you can create the name as MX US. The business name also you can include. That's how you can create. Or else in US, you have business in 4 locations. The 4 location names are with the business names. You can create the business unit. Now I'm taking the simple case MX US business unit. In US, we are doing the business. We have one branch in US. That's what I'm taking as a name. MX US business. And select location, whatever we created. We given the name as MX dollars. Search and select the value. MX dollars, say okay. And default set. Okay, wherever you see the term called as set, that is nothing but reference data set. We'll discuss about the reference data set, that is separate concept. We'll see how to create it, what purpose we have, where it will impact, all those points we'll discuss. For now, you can select what value Oracle is providing. I'm going to select whatever the value Oracle is providing as a seeded, that is common. Search and select common is a reference data set code and name is common set. Select it. This is the seeded value Oracle is providing. We will understand very soon about what is the set means. The set meaning is whenever you see the term called a set, that is nothing but a reference data set. Okay, how this will be useful, how to create our own. We'll discuss all those points. For now, just remember, at the time of business unit creation, we are selecting common set. And manager. When you talk about business unit, it is equal to branch. Who's heading that branch? That manager name you can provide, but now it is not mandatory. We didn't create any employees to select some employee as a manager, so ignore it. Later also you can select, but this is just for information purpose. Okay, we given the name, location, and default set we given as a common. Now you can say save and close. Just click on save and close. business unit will be created. The next step is assign business unit business functions. The business unit is going to involve in which business activities we have to specify with this task. Along with that, we have to assign our primary ledger and legal entity to business unit. Fine. So go to task called as business unit business function. The system you will see as a function, not functions. We'll just go to the task. So business unit created. Here you can see the task called as assign business unit business function. Click on, go to task icon and select business unit. Select and add. We want to set business functions for which BU. Select, click on apply and go to task. Find our business unit, MX US. Search. Select, don't click on the name, it will open the business unit how we created. Just select this record only. Scroll it till down. Say save and close. Click on save and close. So this business unit is going to involve in which business activities. Here you can see big list. Okay. So the business unit is going to involve in the procurement activities, enable procurement. So the business unit is going to involve in project accounting related activities, enable project accounting. The business unit is going to involve in receiving the material to the respective warehouses. And the business unit is going to involve in raising the requisitions. So what activities you are performing within this business unit, all the activity related business functions you can enable. So when you create the business unit, you assign all the business functions. Okay, assign all the functions, there won't be an issue. So whatever you are going to implement as per your business, that system will allow. Okay. So when you, after creating business unit, you can assign all the business functions to your BU. Assign all. Now, to this business unit, within this business unit, when you create the transactions, it could be purchasing application or payables or order management or receivables, take any application. When you create the transactions by using this business unit, by using which primary ledger you want to create the transactions, that primary ledger we have to assign to this business unit. Just click on drop down, select our primary ledger name. Our primary ledger we created as a MX USA primary ledger. I just select MX. What happened? Start with MX. It's not showing. Let's search with our legal entity name. We created, right? Why it is not showing? The primary ledger. Here also you can see here we have MX USA primary ledger. This is okay. What's wrong with this? Say assign business unit, business functions. Go to this task again. Click on go to task icon. We want to assign the business functions for which BU. You have to select that BU. Our BU name is Amex search, select, click on save and close. Search for Amex. Why it is not displaying? It's saying we didn't assign balance and segment values to legal entity, but we assigned. Right, no issues. We'll go and assign. So assign legal entity. Our legal entity name is Amex. We assigned. That is the reason again it is not allowing us to assign. Something went wrong with this. No issues. Okay. No issues. That let it be. For our testing, we will use other primary ledger assignment, because after completing this step, we are going to see everything how to create through rapid implementation template. Okay. So let's see how to set business unit business functions. So leave it, no issues. Go to business unit business functions. Say assign business unit business functions. Okay, use this task, which is the last. Or anyone you can use, no issues. So here, assign business unit business function. Already we selected our BU. Click on go to task icon. It will take us to the BU related business functions. So enable all the business functions. So what are the activities this business unit is going to perform? Those all business functions you can enable. What you can do is enable all. Say for example, if you don't enable procurement business function for this business unit, if you want to do the procurement related setups for this BU won't be available. If you enable procurement, then only this BU would be available. If you enable this payable invoices, when you implement payables, this BU would be available. That's how it works. Okay. There is some issue with our legal entity to primary ledger in this instance. Somehow it happened, I don't know. For our just understanding, let's assign any one of the primary ledger here. We're already showing. So this is how you can assign your primary ledger and do legal entity to your business. Say save and close. Okay, whatever the primary ledger legal entity we created, those we have to assign to this primary ledger. So this is all about creating the location business unit and assigning the business unit business functions. Now we'll see how to create the same setup through rapid implementation sheet. Okay. So how to create the setup through rapid implementation sheet, we will go and see that. Right. Now, the concept is rapid implementation. Called as RI. Okay. RI means rapid implementation. Right. Just one second. Right. Okay. So rapid implementation, RI, that you can call as rapid implementation templates also. By using the rapid implementation template, we can create our accounting calendar, chart of account structure instance, and the deployment can be performed automatically. And you can create the primary ledger, legal entity, business unit, and within the chart of accounts, the company, department, account, and different segment values we can create. Okay, so let's see how to do that. If you want to complete the same setups with the rapid implementation, whatever we completed so far, most of the setups, go to instance, and you can go to search page. Go to search page. Search for the task called as, you don't need to search with the full task name, just search with the term called as rapid. Okay, search with the term called as rapid. Here you can click on define common financials configuration for rapid implementation. Okay, click on this task. Here, this is a template we have to download. Create chart of accounts, ledger, legal entity, and business unit in spreadsheet. Okay, you have to click on it. Now click on create chart of accounts, ledger, legal entities, and business units in spreadsheet task.
Lakshman,
Download rapid implementation template.
one question, Lakshman.
Please.
So basically, I may miss what is exactly the difference between the normal implementation project we use or rapid implementation?
With the normal implementation, we have to go to each and every page to create the
Separately?
setups, right? You want to create an accounting calendar. You have to go to accounting calendar page. There we create accounting calendar, right? So in the normal implementation project, we have to go to chart of accounts value sets task to create value sets.
Yes.
To go to chart of accounts structure page to create structure. You have to go to instance page to create instance. Values page to create values, right?
Yeah.
So instead of taking all these navigations, you can input the same data in the spreadsheet. It will create all the setups automatically.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Reality, we use this rapid implementation template only. In the implementation, we don't create all those through manual process. But when we
Okay.
applications, we should aware how to create through manual process also.
Correct. Yeah.
We'll go and see that.
Thank you.
Yeah. This is a template we downloaded. Open this template. Okay. So this is a template. The first sheet is instructions. That means by using this template, if you want to create the setups automatically, what are the points you have to understand? That information they are providing as a part of instruction sheet. Okay, you may go through. When you practice, you may spend time to read all this content. But I'll take you through the process, how we can utilize this template to create the setups. Go to sheet called as COA, calendar and ledger. Okay, COA, calendar and ledger. Here you can give the name. You are going to do the implementation for which company? Okay, you are going to do the implementation for which company? That name you can take here. So the same name it will take for chart of accounts, calendar and ledger. Same name system will use for chart of accounts, calendar and ledger. Now here you can take any name. So for example, what name we can take? First we will check within our instance which names are not being used. We'll check as a part of implementation project. So with Google, do you have any name with the Google? Somebody created, that means they done the setups.
Let's take an example of Forbes.
Forbes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll take, or else I'll take you through some scenarios. What are the project we done very recently? When the setups also, that is hospitals, they're into hospitals business. Instead of taking exact client name, I'll take other company is Mayo. Okay. Say Mayo Clinics.
Clinic, okay.
Clinics. They are very famous as top hospitals in US. Yeah, Mayo Clinics. Say we are going to implement for that hospitals. Okay, so where they can manage their inventory and supplying and procuring, those all we can discuss and we can see that. So Mayo Clinics, say is a client name. And we are going to create our primer ledger for which country. Based on that, you can select the currency. But currency selection is not mandatory. Okay, currency selection is not mandatory. When you provide legal entity data, based on the legal entity, system can take the currency. Okay. When you provide legal entity, there we provide legal entities belongs to which country. Based on the country, system can take the currency. Still, if you want to provide, you can provide, otherwise ignore it. Select. Now, period frequency. You know how we created accounting calendar? The same inputs we are going to give here. The period frequency is nothing but monthly. Okay. What is the period type? And how many adjustment periods required? Say, we need once a period. And our calendar year start date, and say 1st Jan 22. And notice here one more point before we enter this data. You see the format what Oracle is recommending, in which format you have to enter the date. Okay, month in 2 digits, date in 2 digits, year in 4 digits. But for our testing purpose, I'm going to give month Jan only 1 digit slash date also in 1 digit slash here I'm giving 22. This is a wrong format. After entering the complete data, when we submit this template for validation, system can identify the mistakes. Okay, let's give this format so that later we'll come to know like how system will identify, how we can rectify. Now here you can list out the segments. So now what we'll create the chart of accounts with a few segments. Say we'll take company. A company segment, we have to assign which label. All the labels they are providing in the template. Primary balance and segment label. Short name. Okay, when you create the value sets, we provide, when you create the segments, we provide the short names for the segments. We have seen as a part of chart of accounts. That short name we have to provide here. Display width. The company segment, with the help of company value set, when you create the values, you want to enter the values in how many digits. That you can give as 4 digits.
Yeah.
Okay, value sets level, you can see maximum size, but in this template, you see display width. This display width only it will take as a maximum size when system will create the value set based on this data. That also we'll discuss. We are not giving any value set information, how it will take and all we will discuss. The next segment we need in our chart of accounts is say department. And for department, say label, we are going to choose cost center. And department short name is ERPT. Display will they are taking 4 for this also. Next segment say account. Okay. Account is the next segment. And for account, you can assign natural account segment label. Account here, I'm giving 4 only. When we perform the validation, there for our understanding purpose, I'm giving 4. Ideally, we have to give 5 or 6. Along with this, you can add few more segments also. Say you want to add one segment called as project. But not required, we'll create with 3 only. Whenever we do some setups and all, we have to provide the values for all. Already we discussed. Okay, when you create a chart of accounts, ideally you create with the 6, 7, 8. This information is enough. Okay, so other values you don't need to provide for our practice purpose. We can proceed with this 3 segments. Okay, you can proceed with 3 segments. Or else if you want to like want to have some future segments, you can have a future segments. For that you can have a dummy values. So that is not required for our convenience when we create transaction. If these 3 segments, simply you can enter the data. By adding those many segments also, we are not going to learn something else. It's all about understanding how many segments are required. So let's proceed with these 3 segments. These 3 segments are enough. Now, here in this template, you can see Oracle is providing the sheets, additional sheets, business unit sheet, companies and legal entity sheet, natural account sheet, and financial sequences. These are the different sheets Oracle is providing. When you look at our segments, here we have 3 segments, company, department, account. But here, how many sheets they are providing? For company, they are providing 1 sheet. Natural account, they are providing 1 sheet. Why they are providing for company and natural account? Why they are not giving for department? If you are going to have segment like project, future 1, future 2, or intercompany, why they are not providing all those? What do you think?
Yeah, like we discussed, 2 segments are needed. So
yeah, we discussed 2 segments are mandatory. Primary balancing and natural accounts. Primary is company, ideally, natural account is account. So which segments are 100% mandate in every chart of accounts? For those 2 only, they are providing the sheets. Okay. If you are going to create any additional segments as a part of your chart of accounts, you can generate the sheets. If you click on add segment sheets, it will ignore primary balance and segment label and natural account segment labels are assigned to which segments. Those 2 segments it will ignore. For remaining segments, it will add the additional sheets. You just click on add segment sheets, it is added department sheet. If you have multiple segments in our chart of accounts, system will follow the same. Okay, it will add the same way, like additional sheets it will add. Now go to business units, and here you can provide your business unit name. Okay, say Mayo Clinics US business unit. Okay. Mayo Clinics US business unit, and here you can provide the legal entity information. Say Mayo Clinics USA legal entity. This data it will take as input to create these setups. Okay, this is the name we are giving. Now we have to list out all our companies. Go to companies and legal entity sheet. Okay, here when you create the values for company or account or department, minimum 1 parent value we have to provide. So minimum 1 parent. So here I am giving the parent value as we are following the size as a 4. You can give the parent value as a 9999. When you give 9999 as parent, see these fields it is freezing. So I'm removing that. Now these fields are open. 9999 I'm giving as parent, these fields are frozen. Now here you can enter, this is a parent company, you can take all companies. If you give any parent value, that will be useful for reporting purpose primarily. Here you can list out your actual companies. So you can give, okay, 1000. So the branches you can list out here. Okay, simply you can say Mayo Clinics. Okay, and where they have branch. So for example, they have branch in the Dallas. Another branch. So Mayo Clinics. Say Austin. So they have 2 branches. This is how you can specify. Now these 2 branches, these 2 branches in the sense here, 2 balance and segment values. We are creating as companies. These 2 balance and segment values are belongs to which legal entity that we have to specify. For our business unit already we given. Okay. See here, we have 2 balance and segment values. Here you can create 2 business units. No issues. For our practice purpose, I'm creating only 1. So from here, you can copy your legal entity and you can take here. Fine. So hope you remember how we created legal address and legal entity. The same information we have to provide in the sheet. So we want to create legal entity with this name. What should be the legal entity identifier? So Mayo, some code, and this is belongs to which country? So United States. United States, and address line. I'm giving just Mayo legal address and city, and all these details we can take from the instance for our reference. Okay.
Is there any validation on address level?
Yes.
Like country?
Yes. Everything the system will validate when you load into the application. It will make sure that within the system, whatever the address values we have, city, postal code, county, country, whatever the values we have as a part of geographies, if the same value if you are providing, it will accept, otherwise it will reject.
Okay.
Say legal addresses. Manage legal addresses. You can click on create. We are not going to create from the instance, just to take some reference. We are accessing this page. You can pick any one of the value for testing. Okay, let's use this. City. Copy. Provide city. State. State. Postal code. Ideally, if you provide postal code, rest all system can fetch. Issues will provide this complete information. So this is the counting. And here you have to provide the registration number and reporting registration number. At the time of legal entity creation, we enter this registration numbers and all. Any number you can provide for our testing, it will work. Reality, all we get from the client. If you look at here, see, these details are related to legal address. System will use these details to create the legal entity address. Okay. So this is the address. For the address, this is the name. By using this address, it will create the legal entity by taking these inputs. Okay, when we create legal entity, these details we provided, along with that we selected address. So this is how system will use it. And again, this, please. Any question? Please go on mute. Don't mind, please. Okay. So this balance and segment value, or else this company also belongs to which registration, which legal entity, that we have to specify. I'm taking the same. Say these two locations, they are running the business with the same registration, that is the same legal entity. You can copy and paste. Whenever you take the same legal entity for this company or balance and segment value, system is freezing these fields. If legal entity is going to be same, again we don't need to specify these details. Already we given, the system can create legal entity with these details, and again you don't need to provide. Okay, that's how you can give the legal entity specification. Done. Now go to departments. We'll see natural accounts later. Go to department. And here you can minimum one parent value you have to provide when we deal with the rapid implementation sheet. Minimum one parent value. Here also I'm giving 9999. I'll say all departments. Okay, all departments I'm taking. Here you can enter departments like say finance department, 2000, HR department, 3000, sales department. This is how you can list out based on the reality. And financial sequences and all not required. When we are going to work on SCM, supply chain management, this is not useful for us. See, these all are related to finance applications. Payables invoice, payables payment, receivables transactions. Okay, we don't need it, ignore it.
But here it is asterisk mark, restart and all in financial option.
Not required, not required. If you say, like, if you are going to use this, say for example, you are giving something, then it will become, here you have to provide value as a mandatory. That's how within this, these are mandatory, but not overall, these are not mandatory. Yeah.
Okay.
Template level, entire template level, if you consider it's not mandatory, you can ignore it. If you provide data, it will generate, otherwise it will don't trigger anything.
Okay.
So done. We given the companies, which companies belongs to which legal entity, with what address and with what detail system has to create legal entity. We provided data here, and make sure that for your business unit, whatever the legal entity you are giving, the same legal entity you have to copy and paste. For that, you have to provide the details. The mapping is very much important. Both should be, I mean, what we are giving for BU, what we are selecting, those should match. Done. Now we'll go and create the accounts. The reality, when you talk about accounts, there will be huge number of accounts for every company. Okay, the accounts you can see thousands and lakhs also, depending on the company's size. So here we have to understand from the sample data. Oracle is providing the sample data for this rapid implementation template preparation. Okay, in the instruction sheet, you go to instruction sheet. Within the instruction sheet, you have a sample data sheet. Sample data. You double click on this. Just double click. Here you can notice the sample data, how they created. These are their business units and legal entities. So these are their companies. Okay, for these two companies, parent companies, this. Okay, for all these companies, parent companies, this. For all these companies, grandparent is this. This is how they created, respectively, they are giving legal entities information. The same way when you look at accounts, this is how the accounts we get from the client. Okay, we ask the client to provide all the accounts, whatever the accounts they are using in the business, by classifying all the asset accounts. See, these all are asset accounts. So these are their checking accounts. All the checking accounts they listed and they given on parent account. Now, if they want to know how much cash is available in this, say 6 accounts, or say 6 accounts, they don't need to go and check one by one. This is all they taken under one parent account. If they select this value, with this value, if they select, they'll find how much cash is available on these accounts. These are the saving accounts. For all the saving accounts, this is a parent account. That's how, just how reporting point of view, how they need data. Accordingly, the client will provide all the accounts. We will provide the same template to the client to collect the accounting information. Reality, that should be done by finance consultant, but let's try to understand. So this is how we collect the data from the client, all the accounts information, what they are using across the different applications. Okay. Now for our testing purpose, let's use this data. Okay, we'll copy this data into our template. This data where we have the sample template. Okay. Here, the sample data template, sample data sheet we have. Once you double click, it will open and you can see the data. Now you can copy this data. What you can do is copy. What is the position? 6, parent 6. Remember that.
Okay.
Please. Do you have any question?
Yeah. So basically, this structure is like roll-up account from parent 1 to parent 6.
Here we don't need to do that. Automatically it will happen. What you are referring to.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
a parent and child relation.
All right. All right.
When there is some parent and child, automatically the child sums goes to parent. What is here you call as a parent and child relation. These are the child values. This is a parent for that. These are the child values. These are the parent. This is the parent. For these two parents, this is a grandparent. For these three parents, this is a parent. It's a parent and child relation, that's all.
Okay.
Now let's copy this data into our template. Okay, our template sheet. So the position, remember, parent 6. Okay, parent 6. So here I'm going to copy. Around in this sheet, you can find 400 plus accounts as sample data. Let's copy all these accounts. When you practice, these accounts will be useful for us. How many we have? Around 437 or 430 plus. Now you copy this. Okay. All we selected. Now copy. Go to our sheet. This is our query. Now go to natural accounts. And the position you can take as a parent 6. And say yes. Now the data would be copied here and it will get validated. Wait for a moment. So the cursor icon will get released once the validation and the copy process is complete.
Yes. So one question, Lakshman, meanwhile it is happening.
Yeah.
So out of these tabs, like we have financial sequence department we create, natural accounts companies and legal. So we know that like few of them are mandatory, but how we will come to know that like finance and sequencing are not mandatory or like other
See,
tabs?
when we know about those applications, you will come to know, because that is related to purely financials. You see here, financial sequence, not procurement sequence or inventory sequence, not purchasing sequence. If you know financial applications, you can say that is required or not.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Fine. So we copied here. Now done. Now we have a data ready. The chart of accounts, we prepared 3 segments. In the business unit, we create one BU and we provided data to create the legal entity. So to create this legal entity, what data is required? The data already we provided with the same name, and that we associated with these 2 balance and segment values, nothing but their 2 branches. Okay. Say those are 2 hospitals. They are operating the business in these 2 locations. And natural accounts from the sample sheet we copied. When you are copying, the position is important. From where you are copying, there only you have to place the cursor in our sheet and we have to paste it. And departments we created, this financial sequence is not required. That is related to finance. You can ignore it. No issues. So this is how we have to prepare this template. So any questions here, please? Any questions from anyone, please?
Not now.
What about others? Okay. We'll proceed. Yeah.
Lakshman, we just have one legal entity, right?
Correct.
So why we have copied so much of natural accounts?
No, natural accounts for the purpose of doing the different business activities. There is no relation between the natural accounts and the legal entities. Legal entity is company registration. With that registration, you can do too many of business activities. Right?
Yes. Yeah.
Natural accounts means whatever the activities you do in the different departments. You purchase different items, you sell different items, you spend different expense in the organization, right? You'll pay to your suppliers, you collect payment from customers. These all are different activities. These all are related to those activity related accounts. Yeah.
Okay. Suppose if I don't have any order management.
Okay.
Then in that case,
See, these accounts, not only for your inventory, not only for your purchasing, for different applications. Okay. For different applications. These accounts you can use in all the applications, your SCM applications, procurement applications, finance applications, PPM applications, SCM applications. These accounts can be used anywhere.
Yeah, but, that is right. Okay. Now my doubt was like, okay, in real time, these values will be given by client.
Exactly.
Okay, for our purpose, we have copied all these accounts from the sample data.
Sample data. That's true. But reality, real time will get too much of data.
Yeah.
Okay. Here just we are loading only 400 plus accounts. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that's all about preparing the data. Okay.
So I have one question.
Yes.
So we have, I have seen like several LOVs. I mean, if you want to add like a new LOV, can we add a value to it?
Where, which one you are referring?
So if you go to natural accounts page or natural accounts tab, so there we have these account types, right? And
account
LOV.
types we have, yes.
So if needed, can we add one more value to that LOV?
Yes, we can add. We can add, because this client will add all this into sheet and they will give a copy. That's all.
So I'm not talking about the account. So if you click on the drop, there is a drop down.
Okay, here you are talking about.
Yes, here.
We cannot add. This is what provided.
Okay, we can't. Or
we
can.
We cannot.
We cannot. Okay.
We cannot. By using Excel function, if you try to add it, it will fail in the process.
Okay.
So they program what they are providing, those only we can use.
Okay. Maybe this account is a bad example. For example, if there is an LOV, okay, for any other tab,
any other tab, take anything like, for example, department or business unit. What is your purpose? What purpose you want to add? What you want to add? Tell me so that we can.
I mean, if you have an like in custom requirement where.
Oh, one second. This sheet you have to use as it is. After loading the data within the instance, you can do all those, adding additional fields, etc.
Got you.
This template we are using for one-time loading purpose. With this, we are not going to do any transactions. We are not going to do anything.
Okay. Yeah. Got you. Okay.
Fine. Okay. So after preparing the data in this template, okay, you can submit this template for validation. If anything wrong in this template, it will give the message as what's wrong and what need to be corrected. Just click on validation. Here, two issues we will get. One is date format we entered wrong intentionally. It should be month in 2 digits. I given 1 only. It should be 01. Date I given 1. That should be 01. Year should be in the 4 digits. You can see the pop-up. Okay, here I given 22. It should be 2022. And one more point, hope you noticed. For account I given display width as a 4. But all the accounts, whatever we copied here, 5 digits. Now system will identify these issues. System in the sense this template. Template level, they written the validations. Click on validate. So it is generating validation report. Here it is showing clearly enter valid date in this format only. And it is showing all the accounts are exceeding the limit of 4. For account values, account segment we given width as a 4, but these all are exceeding the display width of 4 because all values we have with a 5. Just go and correct it. Here make it as 4 to 5. That issue will be fixed. Here you enter the right format. The suggested format you can enter 01 means John, 01 means first and year 2020. Okay. Year 2020. Now you can submit for validation. So validation is successful, no errors found. So do you want to preview the sample report? Not required. Say no. So everything is validated, nothing wrong with this. Now based on this validated data, you can generate the files, data files. Okay, the generate data, generate chart of accounts file, and generate ledger, legal entity, and business unit files. Let's generate. Click on generate chart of accounts file. Okay, let's save this in the separate folder. We'll create separate folder with the same name. So Mayo Clinics. Save in this folder. Chart of accounts zip file it is created. Okay, chart of accounts. The file is zip. And we have to generate one more file for ledger, LE, and BU creation purpose. Click on this. Save it. That's all. Okay, what process we are following? The first step is we have to download rapid implementation template from instance. Then we have to prepare the template with the data. Prepare template with data. The third step is you have to validate data. Within the template, whatever the data you enter, you have to validate. So after that, we have to create data files. After creating the data files, we have to upload data files. We have to upload the data files. How many data files we created? 2. The 2 we have to upload in the sequence. First, we have to upload chart of accounts file. System will create the chart of accounts. Once the deployment is complete, you can submit the second file. Before deployment complete, you should not submit the second file. Okay, first we'll go and do submit chart of accounts file. Okay, this is a file. I'm taking the just file name. I'll copy and take into this. Okay, this is a file. This is the one file. If you submit this file can create what? First, we'll go and submit and we'll discuss meantime so that the setups would be ready. So we'll go and submit this file. From where we can submit, from where we downloaded, from there only we can submit this file. So go to task called as rapid. So wherever rapid term is included, go to that relevant tasks, search for rapid term, and go to task list. Okay, this is a task list. It contains multiple tasks. Define common financial configuration for rapid implementation. To implement any applications in the Fusion application, you have to complete this common setups from finance to implement any applications. So go to this task list. And first we are going to upload the chart of accounts. Click on upload chart of accounts task. Click on upload chart of accounts task and click on choose file. Okay, click on choose file and go to the folder. Where is the folder? This is the one. Right here we have those 2 files. First select chart of accounts file and click on submit. Click on submit and say okay. And refresh. What this file will do is, hope you remember what setups we done as a part of chart of accounts, all it will complete. I'm going to copy and paste stuff right now. So these are the setups we completed, right? This setup system will complete. Same sequence it will follow. Now we may get questions. What names it will take for each and everything? We'll discuss. So when it will create value sets, what it will do is it will take this naming. Just closing. This is one we prepared. Now it will create the value sets. How it will create the value set? It will take segment name and it will take the company name. So it will create segment for a value set for company as company Mayo Clinics, department Mayo Clinics, account Mayo Clinics. That's how it will create the value set names automatically. Hope you remember how we created value set. At the time of value set creation, we given the value set code, value set name, value set is belongs to which application. Okay. The validation type we given as dependent, value data type we given character, value subtype we given text, and what is the maximum size we given. The same what we given in case of manual process, in the automatic process also system will select the same and it will take the inputs from here. If it is a 4, 4, 5, 5, that's how it will create the maximum size of the value set. Okay, so it will create value sets like the name what we given. First, it will take the segment name, say company, and what is the name we given for companies. Okay, client name what we given, Mayo Clinics. So this is how it will create the value set for company, department Mayo Clinics, account Mayo Clinics. This is how automatically system will create the value set of 3 segments. And what about chart of account structure? What name it will use for chart of account structure? Whatever the name we given here, the same name it will use for chart of account structure as well as instance also. For structure and instance, for both it will use the same. So it will take same name. Okay, same name. For instance also it will take the same name. Fine. Structure and instance it will take the same. Which segments it will create? Clearly we specified in this template. These 3 segments it has to create. For these 3 segments, 3 labels it will assign as per the information. For each segment, what are the value set system is going to create in this process, those value set it will assign to respective segments. Okay, that's how it will create. Whatever the name you given for segments is the same. It will assign the respective value sets what system will create. It will assign the segment labels what we given in this template. Okay, in this template, what same templates it will assign. Next step, it will create the instance with the chart of account structure. What name it is using for chart of account structure, same name it will use for instance also, and it will submit for a deployment. Here we have to understand one point. This process can wait max 15 minutes only. Okay, to deploy the accounting flex field, this process can wait for max 15 minutes. Within the 15 minutes, if deployment process is not completed, it will complete all these setups. It will complete all these setups. It will wait here for a deployment process to be completed for max 15 minutes. Within 15 minutes, the deployment process is not completed. The process will end with a warning. You can go and see the log file. It says the process waited for 15 minutes. The 15 minutes exceeded. So the deployment is not completed. Please submit deployment through manual process. Just we have to go and submit deployment through manual process. After deployment is complete, anyway, these setups also will be ready along with these setups only in case of rapid implementation. Okay. So if system is going to complete the deployment within 15 minutes time, that is okay. If 15 minutes are exceeding for a deployment process, you have to submit the deployment process through manual process. Manually you have to submit. First, you don't need to touch anything. Only deployment only you have to touch if required. Now we are using mostly these practice instances. Okay. So here and there, it definitely takes more than 15 minutes time. If your deployment process is going to be completed within 15 minutes, system itself, it will deploy. Otherwise, we have to submit for a deployment. We are not going to create anything. Only if required, we'll submit the deployment. Fine. This is what we have to understand. I will check the status. Click on refresh. Here we can see we submitted. If you want to filter this, okay, if you want to filter this, you can search with the username, which user submitted what, you can see. So June. Submitted by June. Just what we submitted, those only you can see. Only this. Okay, upload enterprise structure and hierarchies. This is what we submitted, where we uploaded file and submitted. And it created value sets. See, maintain value sets, succeeded. Maintain chart of accounts, hierarchies means values also created within the value sets. But when you create through manual process, after deployment only you have to create the values. But in the loading process, before deployment itself, system will create the segment values. So this process running, that means deployment is happening. The deployment process is triggered. If it is going to be completed within 15 minutes, the process will get updated as a deployed. Otherwise, after 15 minutes, this process will end with a warning. If it is not completed within 15 minutes, this process will end with a warning and we have to submit the deployment. Meantime, we'll see all the setups are completed by system or not. Okay, so these are the names which you can refer. Go to value set and try to find out this value set with these names, company, department, and account. And we'll come back to this page later. Okay, it's running the deployment. Deployment is going on. That's what you have to understand. Now go to here. You can go to chart of accounts value sets task. So manage chart of accounts values. So it creates value set with what name? Segment name plus or company name, whatever we given in the name field. Okay. Accordingly, we can go and check. So company Mayo Clinics. Search. You see, the value set is created. The rapid implementation template file created value set. How it created value set? To check, you can select this value set record and click on edit. We are going to just check. It is taking value set code as a company, Mayo Clinics, department, description is Mayo Clinics, the same company, Mayo Clinics. Module it's selected as a general ledger. Validation type it's selected as independent. Value data type selected character, because these are the very generic values which we select. And maximum length it is selecting 4. How it is selecting 4? Here we given 4. This 4 only it is selecting for this segment related value set creation purpose. Created. Same way you can check other value sets also. Department, search. Okay, department, Mayo Clinics. Click on edit and see how it created. For department also we given maximum length as a display width within the template. Same it is taken. And search for account. Click on edit. Is taking maximum length as a 5. That's what we given in the template. And so here, what process we followed as a part of manual setups. This is the process we follow. Okay, sorry. This is the process we follow. For completing all these setups after deployment, we created segment values so that we will be able to just select value attributes. Before deployment, if you create the segment values, allow budgeting, allow posting, summary, account type, this all system won't display. That is the reason after completing deployment only you have to create all this. But in the automation process, what will happen will go and see. Now, still the deployment process running, you can click on manage values, click on search. All values it created. See here. Now, rapid implementation sheet, what are the values we have all it created. All values it created. Here it will create before deployment only. If you load this data through rapid implementation template, before deployment, the moment it creates value set, it will create these values. And it will pick the value attributes also. For all segments, not only for this segment, you take department value set or account value set, for everything you can find. So company, search. For company, what values we provide in our template. Go to companies. We created 2 companies. Okay, 2 branches. Those are nothing but 2 branches. Those are 2 hospitals. Okay, Dallas and Austin. And the one parent value provided. Parent is mandate, otherwise the values you cannot load. Go and check. Manage values. Click on search. Created 3 values. So 9999 all companies. 9999 all companies. The 9999 you taken as a parent. Since you taken as a parent, you notice here system is selecting summary as yes. With this company, you cannot record the transaction. This you can use for reporting purpose. And allow posting, allow budgeting, it is marking as no. Since you are not going to record any transaction with this company, all companies value, so no posting, no budgeting. So that's how it is marking. For rest of all, it is selecting child values, it is selecting summary as no, and allow budgeting, allow posting is yes. You can check for department.
Something like master org?
It's not like master org, it's a grouping purpose. Now when you prepare the reports, okay, if you select 9999, under that how many values we have, you will get the result. All those companies, all those departments, all those accounts, summary of information it will show.
Okay, and the master org concept is different again. In inventory we have to create a
Yeah, master org is different. Master org, that is for item creation purpose. That's different.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah. Click on search for department value set. Okay, so click on manage values. In case of department, what we created, 9999 all departments, and the 3 values we created. We'll check the same. Click on search. So all departments, it is selecting summary as yes, that means parent value, rest 3 are child values. Okay. So value sets are created as per our rapid implementation template file. Now rest we'll check. Segments. Before we go on segment, chart of accounts and segments, we will check the status. If status is completed, okay, or else we will submit through manual process. Tools, scheduled processes. Okay. Still it is running. Oh, great. Completed. That means our chart of account structure also deployed. When you practice, if you come across it is not happening, the status is not turning into succeeded, it will wait for max 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, status will turn into warning. Okay. Then you go and submit deployment through manual process. That's all. You don't need to create anything. Just go to chart of account structure page and submit for deployment. Now we'll go and see the chart of accounts created with the same name or not. So setup maintenance. You can go to search page. Search for the task called as chart of accounts structures. So manage chart of account structures. Click on search. You can see the deployment status is deployed. Okay. Anyway, we'll go and check the chart of account is created with the same name or not. So whatever the name you given in the template, with the same name, it will create the chart of account. Okay, this is the name. Search. Created. Okay, Mayo Clinics. select, click on edit to see how this chart of account structure is created. Created with the 3 segments, whatever we given. Let's see how it created each segment. Select company, click on edit. It's taking the segment code and the same name, system is copying as API name, segment name, description, sequence number 1, same it is taking as a prompt. Short prompt already we given in this template only. Company short prompt we given COMP, the same it is taking here. Okay, and display width 4. Whatever we given at this value set level, the same it is copying. If you want to increase, you can increase. Automatically selecting as a segment 1. And company value set, it is assigned to company segment only. As per this template, whatever the label we given, that label only it is assigning to company segment. Same way you can check other segments also. How it create a department segment. Click on edit. So department value set is assigning department. Whatever the label we specified as per template, that label only assigned to department. Okay. And you can check account also. Account. Click on edit. Okay, you see that value set is assigned, natural account label is assigned. So what data we provided accordingly it is created. Now we'll go and check instance, manage structure instances, same name, structure it created with what name, with the same name it creates instance also. See here, same name, click on edit. So created and it marking all are required. How we did through manual process, the same. See, by copying this structure, it created this instance. Okay. Now you can change the display name. You can change for your convenience. Okay. If you want to change, you can change. Okay. Mayo Clinics accounting flex field. That's how you can change the name. So that's how the name will get displayed. If you want to change the display name, you can change it. Accounting flex. This is how you want to see. Just save and close. Done. We have seen this all like it is deployed also, values also created. So that's all about chart of accounts file. Okay. Now we'll go and submit the second file. Okay, we'll go and submit the second file. The second file will create the rest of setups. Search for the term called as rapid. Go to define common financial configuration for rapid implementation. Click on this task list and click on upload ledger, legal entity and do business units task. Click on this. Click on choose file. The second file is this. Okay. Financials common entities. Financials common entities nothing but calendar, primary ledger, legal entity, business unit. This all comes under financials common entities. Select this file and submit. You have to submit this file once you see the status as a deployed. After deployment only you have to submit. Otherwise, these setups cannot be completed because these will have a dependency. By picking the chart of accounts only, the primary ledger can be created. Once primary ledger is ready, then only you can assign the legal entity to that. And finally, you can create business unit and you can assign your primary ledger and legal entities to business unit through business unit, business functions task. Submit this. Now this file is going to create what? This file will create, the file name is this. Okay, file common entities.
LAXMAN, excuse me. I have another call for, so I have to drop off.
Okay, sure. Yeah, this we will see tomorrow. Okay, we submitted that file. Okay.
Yeah.
Submitted. What it will create after that, we will go and check in instance. That's 4 o'clock already we discussed, right? We have to stop sharp 4. Yeah, sure, we'll do that. Okay. So then that's all for today. Okay, in tomorrow's session, just we submitted this file. Based on this file, what system created and all, we will check. And from there, we can proceed to further configurations and all. So that's all for today. We'll connect tomorrow, same time. Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.